Forest Friends, a magical adventure with the Great Forest Guardian. Welcome to Amaris Creation, where enchanting tales come to life. Join us on a whimsical journey into the heart of a magical forest, where adorable creatures known as the Forest Friends embark on a delightful adventure alongside the Great Forest Guardian. So grab your snacks, snuggle up, and get ready for an enchanting story that will captivate the hearts of preschoolers and spark their imaginations. Welcome to my channel, and let's dive into our next magical tale. On a time, in a magical forest filled with sparkling streams, towering trees, and colourful flowers, there lived a group of adorable creatures known as the Forest Friends. These delightful creatures were always busy playing, exploring. In the heart of the forest, there was a cosy little clearing where the Forest Friends loved to gather and have picnics. One sunny morning, as the birds chirped and the butterflies danced, the Forest Friends decided to have a special picnic to celebrate the arrival of spring. The picnic was filled with delicious treats like honey sandwiches, berry tarts, and crunchy carrots. Everyone brought their favourite snacks to share, and they laughed and chatted happily as they enjoyed the feast. Suddenly, a soft voice called out from behind a bush. "Hello, Forest Friends. Can I join your picnic?" Curious, the Forest Friends peeked behind the bush and gasped in delight. There stood the newest member of their forest family, a tiny, fluffy bunny with big, bright eyes and the softest fur they had ever seen. "Of course, you can join us," exclaimed the Forest Friends, welcoming the bunny with open arms. They quickly made a space for the bunny to sit and offered him some delicious treats. The bunny's name was Cotton, and he had just moved to the magical forest from a faraway land. He was shy at first, but soon he was giggling and hopping around with the other forest friends, having the time of his life. As the day went on, the Forest Friends played games like hide and seek, tag, and musical chairs. They raced through the meadows, swung from the branches of the trees, and danced in the dappled sunlight. But just as they were having the most fun, they heard a loud, rumbling noise coming from deep within the forest. The ground began to shake, and the trees swayed ominously. "Oh no, what's happening?" cried the Forest Friends, huddling together in fear. Suddenly, a wise old owl swooped down from the sky and landed gracefully in front of them. "Do not be afraid, dear Forest Friends," said the owl in a soothing voice. "It is just the Great Forest Guardian awakening from his long sleep." The Forest Guardian was a mystical being who watched over the forest and kept it safe from harm. Every spring, he would wake up from his deep sleep to ensure that all was well in the magical forest. With a mighty roar, the Great Forest Guardian emerged from the depths of the forest, his majestic antlers gleaming in the sunlight. He looked around at the gathered creatures with a kind smile and spoke in a booming voice that echoed through the trees. "Fear not, little ones. I have awakened to bless this forest with my magic once more," he announced. "But I sense a disturbance in the balance of nature. Something is amiss." The Forest Friends looked at each other in concern. They knew that they had to help the Great Forest Guardian restore harmony to the magical forest. Together, they set off on a grand adventure, journeying deep into the heart of the forest to uncover the source of the disturbance. Along the way, they encountered all sorts of challenges, from treacherous rivers to dark caves filled with mysterious creatures. But with courage, friendship, and a sprinkle of magic, they overcame every obstacle that stood in their way. And in the end, they discovered that the true power of the forest lay not in its magic, but in the love and unity of its inhabitants. With the help of the Forest Friends, the Great Forest Guardian was able to restore balance to the magical forest once more. The sun shone brighter, the flowers bloomed more vibrantly, and peace reigned supreme. As they returned to their cozy clearing, the Forest Friends gathered around a crackling campfire to celebrate their victory. They sang songs, told stories, and shared fond memories of their epic adventure. And as the stars twinkled overhead and the fireflies danced in the night sky, the forest friends knew that they would always cherish the magical bond that they shared. For in the heart of the enchanted forest, anything was possible. And so, dear friends, if you ever find yourself wandering through a magical forest, remember the tale of the forest friends and the great forest guardian. For in the world of imagination, there are endless adventures waiting to be discovered. Thank you for joining us on this enchanting adventure through the magical forest with the forest friends and the great forest guardian. If you enjoyed this tale, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Amaris Creation for more delightful stories that will ignite your imagination and warm your heart. Remember to hit the bell icon so you never miss out on our next magical journey. Until next time, happy exploring!